me. Let me know. If you can't, I will find out soon enough. I feel like I have an intro for these streams, but that sentence is kind of the intro before the intro. Anyway, where am I going with this? If you're tuning in right now, there's a timer on screen, so before that time runs out, then you can totally go grab a drink or use the bathroom or take a nap and come back in 4 minutes. If you're watching in post, like a VOD or something, or a replay, feel free to skip ahead. The timer on the screen lets you know when we start reading. Looking at chat, hello Wolfthang, that's a new face. Nice to see you here. Welcome to the stream. Mango Cheesecake, welcome back. Thank you for checking in on my sound as always. Eric, nice to see you as well. It is nice to have you here again. What do I have to set up before the stream starts? Let me find out. Okay, let's have a couple links open. Cool. Nice. Sick. Trying to think if there's anything else I need, but I don't think I do, so I think I'm chilling. Let's post on Blue Sky that we're live. That's good. There we go. Cool. Uploaded on Blue Sky. Jason, hey, welcome back. Nice to see you. We're gonna start in like 2-ish minutes, I think. Wise man. Voice seems quiet. Maybe I'm just not talking right into my mic. That might be it. My mic volume is all the way up, so hopefully that is a problem that resolves itself. Ooh, Eric says, quick update. I'm playing Wilder Feast with my friends. We will start actually cooking something after the game. We are finishing the intro mission. Fantastic. I'm glad. I'm glad it's going well. I just started my Triangle Agency campaign last week, so I'm in the midst of cooking something up too. So here's to both of our games going well. All right, let's do this. Where am I? What am I doing? Hello. We're here. My voice is talking right into the mic. Okay, cool. Welcome back. We're back at it again. We're back on the 99 More live stream where we cover 99 tabletop RPGs, and today is game 88 of 99. Big landmark. We are officially 8/9 of the way through this series. Now, a little backstory. I am traveling out of the country tomorrow, which is a thing. So I really needed a game that I could handle, that was light and not too stressing on the mind, because there's like 20 things I have to do once I'm done with this stream. But of course, before then, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this game. The game that I'm covering today is a game called Q cover card, Wildkin. The game is called Wildkin. Now, this is a little bit of an interesting situation because I had to find cover art for this game, right? As I do with every game. And this was a promotional illustration for the game Wildkin, but it's not actually the cover. And the reason for that is because Wildkin is 1 page long. It's a fantastic 1-page RPG. I believe it was part of a solo jam in which a bunch of people make just 1-page tabletop role-playing games. And this was one of the results of that. And I think after the jam finished, or maybe in the midst of it, because this guy is supremely talented, they cleaned it up and posted it for download and purchase on itch.io. So this game is going to be super light. We're going to be reading through this game and probably playing it because we'll just have that much time. Reading the entirety of the game should not take much time at all. I did skim through it before this stream, and there will be a little bit of a drawing portion, which should be fun. So I'm going to get right into that. This game was made by Deep Dark Games, and I'll show you where you can download this game and where you can support the author. Right now, I think, if everything's teed up, unless it's not teed up. Sorry, I gotta tee up a Chrome tab. There we go. Fantastic. Click. There we go. Wildkin. Wildkin can be found on itch.io, deep-dark-games.itch.io/Wildkin. You could just look up Wildkin in itch.io and it'll be like the first thing that pops up. This game is $1.51, which is a pun on the number of Pokemon in the first generation. This game is very much inspired by the experience of Pokemon and being and existing. And basically, the lifestyle of a Pokemon that is captured by a trainer and lives an entirely separate life somewhere else. This game is meant to channel specifically that. So, just scrolling through this page because we will be reading all of this in the 1-page tabletop RPG, which you can see literally right here to your right. This is the whole game, just the front and back. There's some awesome maps and illustrations, and there's a character sheet that we can look at for sure. Wildkin is a solo game, so you play it on your own. They estimate that this game will take about an hour to play, and lo and behold, this stream is about an hour and a half, so we should be able to dive into a little bit of play today, which should be a lot of fun. You can totally get this game for free. There's a couple of free copies here if you'd like. I think there's a button. I don't have it because I purchased it. But if you want to grab a copy for yourself, absolutely. It is also just $1.50. So if you don't want to buy, a can of Coke that's like $2.25 nowadays, you can get this instead. So Deep Dark Games, their website's over here. deepdark.games. They've made other games called A Perfect Rock and Home. I think they have a couple other projects. No, this is the ones that's advertised on their website. But I was gonna pick this one, A Perfect Rock, but Wildkin is very much more my brand, so I decided to do this one instead. But you could absolutely check these out as well. Now, with that said, this is their itch page. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's just jump into the game because it really is exactly that, as advertised. And look at this super smooth transition. Once I find the button, this should have happened 5 seconds ago. Here we go. Wildkin. Again, that's the whole game. Okay? That's the whole game. Quick, easy, gentle read for someone like me. Let's get into it. So this is a solo game. This is specifically 1 player, 1 hour. The things you'll need is paper and writing utensils, 1 6-sided die, a quiet space, a timer. Oh, a timer. Okay, I can get that set up on my phone. A printed kin sheet and map. These are optional, but we do have those PDFs. Those come with the download, and you can find them when you buy the game. So this is that, which is really cool. You are a Wildkin, a fantastical creature who roams the wilderness. You are collected by trainers, people who catch Wildkin for study, companionship, or to test their strength in battle with other trainers. This is the story of your capture and of the trainers who kept you. Were they kind? Did you flourish? What legacy did they leave on you and you upon the world? They saw great potential in you, Wildkin. Did they help you reach it? So this is one of those interesting situations where you're not playing as like the Pokemon trainer, but instead as the Pokemon. There are obviously some I think they bring it up literally a paragraph down. They touch upon the themes of captivity. They touch upon themes of almost like a forced existence, and that's always been one of the harder topics in Pokemon. Like, we have to assume, since it's a children's story, that Pokemon like being in Pokeballs, but that doesn't have to be the case when you play this game. So there are unavoidable themes when dealing with this genre. You are kept in a ball. Captured Wildkin are stored in ball-like capsules, locked away from the world, and to play safe. This game may touch on loneliness or confinement. If you choose to tell this type of story, answer what you are comfortable with, and take breaks when needed. How to play. When asked a question, imagine your answer and write down the important parts of your story. Consider imagining a short scene. When asked to choose, you may roll a die to decide instead, and then these are the options to make a Wildkin. So this is a prompt-based game. I believe there's a couple of scenes that we're gonna have to do, and they'll give us a question, and we can roll to see what choice we would make, or we can make the decision ourselves. I think we will perhaps roll for one decision and then make our own personal call on the next one, just to see what that's like. Okay. So there is, in fact, a drawing portion of this, and I'm ready for that with this. I'm going to have a little thing in the corner, and I'm going to doodle a little bit. So we'll figure out what our little guy looks like, and go from there. So let's find out. Choose an element from your current region. Okay, and then choose a body type. Sure. Imagine what they look like, sketch a picture of them, give them an impressive battle ability, and give them a name. When asked to choose your location, and choose an element from your current region. When do I choose region? Does that come up? Let me see. I want to choose region. Oh, each... Okay, so you choose a different region every act, and there's 3 acts. Okay, cool. When asked to create a location, sure. And these are the roles we make. When asked to change something. And then when you create your location or Wildkin, make a change whenever you fit your story, even when not explicitly prompted. Sure. So when we start, this game takes place over 3 acts, each with a new trainer in a new region. Follow these steps. 1. Create a Wildkin to be your character. You can maybe from any region and write down your details. All right, let's do that. Where's the map? The map is here. Okay, so we have a couple of regions. Kori seems to be the airborne world, or mountain-based. We can see the elements here are pretty cool. There's Storm, Dragon, Spirit, and Moon. Hana seems to be the plains and valleys map, which is very cool as well. There are these giant dinosaur type skeletons sticking up in places. And the elements are grass, bug, water, shadow, forest, ancient. And then here is, I'm assuming, desert. Ooh, crystals going on. You can see plateaus. A couple of ravines and canyons. And the elements here are Suna, sand, fire. I've played enough Naruto games. Suna means sand, I think. Or is it Suno? I can't remember. Suna, Kori. Kori's something wind-based, I think. And then Hana is like a flower, I think. That's my inner anime fan coming out. I don't know if any of that is true. You don't have to believe me. So I'm gonna pick. I feel like the simplest one to pick is the grassy one. So we can go grassy, Hana. Let's roll a d6, and then we're gonna pick an element. Because when you make your Wildkin, you have to pick an element from the region. So let me do that. Let's go back to here. Let's open up a dice roller. And I'm going to roll a d6, and the d6 says 5. So my element is shadow. Okay, I'm done with the shadow. Is there anything else I got to do to create my Wildkin? Shadow. Okay, so here we go. Our element is shadow. Choose body type. We roll another d6 for body type. We can totally do that. For sure. Roll is 4. Flying shadow. Okay, and then we just gotta imagine what they look like. Let's do that. So let's pull up our handy dandy paint app. We're gonna be drawing a shadow Pokemon that flies. Yeah, we could do that for sure. Let's have a little fun with this, right? Let's go with like a bluish, right? And then we'll go a little darker. And then I'm gonna get... Sorry if you wanted to read this game. I'm drawing now. It's time to draw. Watercolor brush. Let's make this nice and big. Yeah, okay, we're gonna get this going, right? You're gonna get some atmosphere, right? We gotta set the mood. And I'm thinking like a rainy day. I'm thinking like the first scene, How to Train Your Dragon. This is a shadow creature. And because it's a shadow creature, I think I'm gonna make it like a serpentine type thing. So like that kind of energy, you know? So let's get a little smaller. Think like just like a good shape. I'm trying to get a good, that's a good shape. Almost. I'm using a pen. Yeah, let's rock with this. This is a good shape. Okay. What's up, Wingchin? We're working on a Wildkin right now. And a Wildkin is... I'm gonna make Spyro, I swear. Don't make Spyro. I'm making a shadow flying Wildkin. So the element that I chose... wait, let me get... There we go. The element that I chose was... rolled with shadow, and then the body type was flying. Oh, wait, serpent is a totally different thing. I gotta be flying. I can't be serpent. So let's undo. We gotta be a flying guy. I don't know how to draw birds. I don't know how to draw birds. Anyone have any tips on bird drawing? By the way, this is the stream. I hope this is what you like. Because if it's not, then you could just buy the game, check it out yourself, and play an hour's worth of the game, and you'll get the exact same experience. Except it'll be you playing and not me. What's a bird shape? Bird shape? Bro, what's up, Thumper? Welcome to the stream. We're drawing Wildkin. Bird shape. Golly. What if it's... Nope. Maybe? I'm just doing vibe drawing. I have no artistic skills. I'm just kind of reading what I feel like. That's just a neck. Nope. Shoot, that's Zapdos. I'm sorry. I'm really trying my best to do a bird. Is there a strategy when you draw birds? Like, what do people do? What's like the anatomy? That's a wing. But it's like on the wrong side of the body. Oh my gosh. Wing should go like this. Now it's a pterodactyl. We'll try. Well, okay. I can do birds far away. Me too, man. Me too. I can also do birds from far away. That's very funny. Moth. Ooh, moth. I like that. Draw across and go for that. Or let's do a moth. We love some moths. I think I set myself up. Let's pick like a purplish. I like blue's not good for moths. Let's just do that. Yeah, some energy, right? And then the moth. I love the little fuzzy moths. Does anyone know the fuzzy moths? Those are really cool. But I think that's like a nice golden color. It's not really shadow anymore, but it could be. Let's do the highlights first. No, let's do the dark parts first. That's what artists do. They do the dark parts first, and then they work on everything else. That's just the same color. I'm thinking like a reddish. Yeah, like this. So moth, abdomen, right? Just like a body. Head. Oop, head. Like that. Okay, head. I'm thinking like that. This is just a ladybug with extra steps. Okay, this is like the general shape we're working with. Moths have like massive wings. I'm gonna go with like an auburn here. Nope. Even bigger. Off the page. Nope. I think it's too sharp. That's good enough. We'll just rock with that. That's fine, right? Uh-oh. Everyone's worst nightmare, making things symmetrical. Shoot. Okay, this is kind of the energy, right? Then we need some like darker highlights. Darker highlights. Did you hear me say that just now? Layers? Paint has layers now? Since when? That's cool. So let's just... Is there like a lower opacity? No, right? That would not be paint anymore. Okay, I'm just gonna like outline a couple things. Just like add some darkish undertones. Like that, right? Because this is supposed to be a shadow Pokemon, right? We can't shadow Wildkin, I'm sorry. We cannot like... I don't know how light works. A little more orange, golden in there, right? Yeah, golden. Right? Then we could do like this sort of thing. Not really shadow anymore, but I feel like we're still kind of there. There's like a tessellation type thing. Yeah. Things are happening. It's looking almost cool. If you want to roll a Wildkin and draw something, be my guest. I can just show you what that looks like. So you pick an element from your current region, and then you choose a body type. So if you roll a d6 for one of these, you could absolutely do that. And then if you want to pick a world, we're currently starting in Hana. That's just what we're doing on this stream. So we can absolutely, you can pick one of these 6. Right now I got Shadow, even though it looks like I'm doing a bug right now. You gotta trust the process. This is actually Shadow. So do I need eyes? Sure. And you know how it's Shadow? It's angry. Angry bug. Perfect. Now we're gonna get some brown in there. Let me see if I can change my tool to be like a airbrush. Yeah, sure. Like, yeah, there you go. Just need a little grit to it. I know what I'm doing for sure. And then, yeah, that's fine. That's good. And I'll just like make this a little bit of dirt there, like that, because we're Shadow, right? So the image I'm having here is that I was found in like a cave or something, right? An underground type situation. I have no dreams and no goals, but boy howdy, Am I not going to be taken advantage of by some random trainer? That would be crazy. I have a life to live, right? You're not going to put me in a ball and force me to fight other animals. That's inhumane, you know? But alas, I am just a poor level 13. I need a name for this Wildkin. Someone please name my bug. So yeah, the shadow portion is like when I flap my wings, things get darker. And that's going to be my super cool ability that it asks me to make. So you see this? Where is it? Let me find this. It says give them an impressive battle ability. My battle ability is that I have like I was gonna say pollen in my wings. When I flap my wings, I make pollen that makes me harder to hit because the surroundings get darker. Think of it like an evasion buff. It's like when I use, if we want to do like Pokemon terms, whenever I use a flying type attack, it lowers the accuracy of the Wildkin I hit. That would be like that would be my special ability. That's the shadow part of my name. But I do need a name for the bug. I'm gonna leave the bug in the corner of the screen, just so you guys can help me brainstorm names for him. But that's me. Dusktra. That's pretty cool. I like the dusk part. It reminds me of like Dustox. I'm feeling the dusk part, but maybe there's a little bit more we can go. But Dusktra is the leading name right now, so we'll rock with that for a little bit. Dusk plus Mothra, yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's keep going. We've got our guy. Create a Wildkin to be your character. You may be from any region. Write down your details. Oh, do we also need Notepad for this? Sure, let's do that. Notepad. Where are you, Notepad? We can absolutely meander through this game just because we're like halfway done reading it. Here you go, Notepad. You can be right there. Why are you so wide? Who gave you that right? There. And we're now Duskthra. Region Hana. Which location was your home? Tunnels under the hills, I think, right? That feels right. I'm one of the underground encounters. Like Mount Moon, when you're traveling through and you're running into all those Zubats, and then finally you get a break from the monotony of running into bats and you find Duskthra? That's me. Right. I think I'm like... You catch me like right here. Right in this little cove right there, and with where the shadow hits the side of the mountain. Or maybe I'm like down here, you have to like climb a little bit to get there, and you catch me here in this little crevasse. Could be. Anyway, what location was home? Choose a region for this act. So this is going to be Hana, right? You must use your home region for Act 1, but choose different regions for Act 2. Choose a trainer. Act 1, innocent kid or determined collector? I think we just flip a coin for it. Yeah, let's just flip a coin. Okay, odds is innocent kid. Evens is determined collector. For determined collector. Okay. We got determined collector here. Describe your trainer, then answer how did they acquire you? Why were you important to them? and what did a typical training session look like? Okay, so now I've got a confession. I am farming. I'm trying to complete a living dex in Pokemon, which basically means that you have in your Pokemon box, in your Pokemon games, you have a living, quote unquote, like a physical Pokemon of every Pokemon in the Pokédex. And living form dex means, so you say you would have like one Bulbasaur, one Ivysaur, one Venusaur, etc. to all the 1,000+ Pokemon. And a living dex means that you have every different version of it. So you could have like the whipped cream alchemy, the matcha alchemy, the it doesn't mean anything to people. Let's just say like East Coast Gastrodon and West Coast Gastrodon, right? You could have different form Gastrodon, and you need both versions. So that's a living dex, right? Only losers like me try to complete a living dex. People who have time to burn, so to speak, and want to do something that, you know, just passes the time. So I believe that my first trainer, the determined collector, needed me because there are many variations of Dusktra all over the different landmasses in this world, and I just happened to be the cave version, the cave moth, the cave Dusktra, just the one of 3 variations. Anyone who knows what does Wormadam evolve into? We know the answer to this. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna use the internet. Wormadam. This guy evolves into Mothim. So Pokemon has like multiple versions of Mothim. No, I lied. It has 1 version of Mothim and 3 versions of Wormadam. I believe I'm this version of Dusktra. No, I guess I would be this one, but whatever. You know, that's what I am, right? And the collector just wants me to have me. Not because he cares about my well-being or my growth as an individual, but because I'm checking off a list of rare Pokemon that he can catch. So basically one of these days, this guy is carabining down the side of a mountain just to catch me at nighttime or just after dusk when I go outside and do my laps around the cavern. I get hit with like a Wildkin Pokeball and get captured. Which is very like anticlimactic. It's not very dramatic. I didn't fight anything. I didn't beat them up. It wasn't a long drawn out battle. There was no fanfare, no celebration. I was caught, immediately boxed, and put somewhere else. So how do they acquire you? Incredibly efficiently. Almost too quick to even know what I look like. The ball was thrown, I was captured, immediately put in a box. Why were you important to them? I was part of a checklist. I was part of a list of Pokemon that they wanted to capture. You know how Trainer Red is always like, I want to catch every Pokemon. That's that kind of guy. This is that kind of guy. And what did a typical training session look like? I didn't train. I think the big thing with my Pokemon is that I don't evolve. And if I don't evolve, if I'm the end of an evolution chain, then there's no reason to raise me any further. There's no point of improving my stats if I never meet a battle, you know? I just got here. Why are we talking about Pokemon? Judd, hey, nice to see you. We're talking about the game Wildkin. This is actually a good thing for people who are just tuning in now. Wildkin is a game about you playing as a fantastical creature in the wilderness who gets captured or collected by a trainer. Obviously, many allusions towards Pokemon. In fact, the actual like download page makes plenty of references to it, or cheeky references to it. Its price being $1.51 for the original 151 Pokemon, and obviously there's like cool maps and all that stuff. And basically this is a story following the life cycle of a Wildkin. It's a solo game, a journaling game. We just spent a little bit of time drawing the Wildkin we'll be playing for this game and adding some details in our notes. And we're just living their life. I'm just detailing what the life looked like for this creature. So, yeah. So right now we're on Act 1. We just got caught by a determined collector. Wow, this... I wish I could move. Give me a second. Let me move this notepad real quick. This does not need to be here. This could be like right here. Yeah, perfect. This is a determined collector. They acquired me very nonchalantly. They did not spend any resources besides a single Pokeball thrown at the exact right time. Why were you important to them? I wasn't. I was a checkbox on all the Pokemon that they wanted to catch, and I received no training because, golly gee, I don't evolve, and for a collector who just catches Pokemon to have them, there's no point in raising me. So now we choose and answer a reflection question. Let's do that. So for this first act, let's choose and answer a reflection question. Okay, so there's a bunch of rolls here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do those. I can hide notepad for now. Let's roll a d6. Yeah. 5. Okay. Our reflection question is, your trainer collected another Wildkin. Why were they important to your trainer, and did you get along with them? Okay, so let's set a scene, right? Duskdraw, recently caught, immediately boxed. Every now and then I come out, and I'm going to tap into my Pokemon knowledge, right? Every now and then I come out of the Pokeball, and the only reason that I do is because I have a very useful ability. My ability, as we declared before, is Dusty Wings. Whenever I hit another Wildkin with a flying type move, they lose 1 point of accuracy. So when it comes to capturing other Pokemon, throwing me out there just to chuck a couple of these Dusty Wings and lower the accuracy of the Pokemon that they're trying to catch, or whether it be like a legendary or something like that, can be very useful. So I every now and then get to join the party for very specific difficult fights. I'm never there to survive the fight. I'm never there to win or get an award or earn a gym badge. I'm simply there to continue the process of filling out their Wildkin collection, so to speak. Now, I remember unassumingly, I don't know how time passes outside my Wildkin Pokeball. Is there? I don't know what the ball item here. My capture ball. I don't know what I'm going to run into when I'm thrown out there, but I remember, and this is me putting myself in the eyes of my Dusk Pokemon, my Moth Pokemon. I get thrown out, and I immediately am in front of a legendary creature. Truly of myth, one of the gallant striders across the plains of the region of Hana, one of the fastest Pokemon to ever grace the grasslands of this long plain. And I'll show you a picture. You guys have fun. So this is the continent, right? And my job is to lower its accuracy. I'm being thrown into battle en media res. This creature has already been injured and paralyzed, and it is throwing out attacks and doing a lot of damage, and I need to soak up some hits. I have to lower its accuracy, and I have to make sure that the trainer has time to catch this Pokemon and add it to its collection. Now, I don't get much sunlight. I don't get many opportunities to show what I've got. And as a fledgling, recently captured Wildkin, I believe this is my time to shine. So the question was, your trainer collected another Wildkin. Why were they important to your trainer, and did you get along with them? Why were they important to your trainer? It was the prestige of their catch, right? This was a very rare Pokemon. It was a very rare Wildkin. This was a very difficult creature to obtain. And I imagine that this was a long, drawn out battle. I believe I used Dusty Wings at least 6 times to lower their accuracy in full, and the battle was incredibly taxing on the both of us, specifically because I was one of the few healthy Pokemon Wildkin left with this trainer, and this thing was trying to fight for its life. So my first impression of this legendary Pokemon was that they were my first real battle. And eventually, inevitably, the trainer was able to capture this mythical creature, and it joined the ranks of the party. And even this creature was not super duper strong, more notorious for its catch rate, and was immediately thrown into the box like myself, only to see the light of day whenever the trainer really needed us. And in a way, you leave a difficult impression on them. The Wildkin obviously remembered me for how frustrating I was, how frustrating it was to battle me and to damage me. And I believe it to be a great mark on my skills over them for quite a bit. But over time, once we realized that our collector had no intentions of ever training us to achieve greatness, and we were both checkboxes on this long list of things to capture, we eventually got along, realizing that our fate was about the same. Which is my answer to this. Did you get along with them? Absolutely. Eventually, I think, is the way I want to answer that. So after that step, we do choose and answer a change question and then change. Okay, so something's going to happen here. Oh, there are options to evolve. How cool. Okay, so change questions are supposed to evoke the feeling of like the Pokemon games, how you change over time. I will roll that and see what I get. Six. Okay. You used an ability so powerful that a location was forever changed. What mark did you leave, and why did you do it? I think yeah, I get it. I think I know what's happening here. So, after about 6 months of my trainer roaming around my region, capturing as many Pokemon as they could to complete their checklist, inevitably, my trainer returns back to the caves which they first caught me. Not to return me home, not to allow me to meet any sort of family or kin that might exist there, but very specifically to capture a rarer version of me. Another, what did we say, Dusktra? Another Dusktra, except this one has speckled wings or a luminescent antenna, right? Exactly me, but more prestigious, so to speak. And my trainer needed me to help catch this Pokemon, to help catch my replacement, right? And of course, that didn't sit right with me. So when the encounter finally came, after delving the caves for weeks and months, and looking across hundreds of Dusktra that already lived there, parading me embarrassingly as the scout for all of this, eventually we do find the what is the phrase? The crown jewel of my trainer's collection, this luminescent winged Dusktra. He sends me out, and I know my job: to lower the accuracy of this creature, to make sure it cannot hit us while we try to capture it. And I decide in that moment, that I'm not about to make myself less important, that I'm not about to be replaced. Instead of lowering the accuracy of this beautiful Duskdraw and replacing me in the party for that would replace me in the party for good, I instead use my most powerful attack. I summon a mighty wind with my wings. Lashes of shadow slam against the stonework of this cavern. My attack hits, as it does. And the opposite Wildkin faints, no longer able to be captured. Gone, just like that, escapes back into the darkness of the cavern. As a Wildkin, I turn to my trainer and say, "Hey, I told you I was better." I would say that in my own tongue. I don't think he can understand me. And my trainer was so furious. Again, weeks of effort for this moment entirely squandered. All because of me? Was it revenge? Was it spite? Bitterness? Jealousy? A misclick? Hard to say. I wanted to prove so badly how valuable I was. How I was irreplaceable. And back then, I didn't know any better. I was traded the next day. Which leads into this, end of Act 1. Imagine your final moment with this trainer. Was it a meaningful farewell? Were you and your ball traded away, lost, or worse? Hey, we predicted it. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to be traded away. I was my ball was added to a community gacha system. It was deposited into this pool of other captured Wildkin that could be paid for or exchanged for at random, that the receiving trainer wouldn't know what they received. For people who know this from Pokemon, it's the GTS, when you can just kind of send your Pokemon into the wind and get something back. That's basically what's happening here. It's a giant rolling lottery machine. My trainer wanted nothing to do with me. After all, there were hundreds more just like me. And I waited. For hours, for days, what felt like weeks. Time doesn't really pass in the ball. You eventually find a Zen state so you can allow this passage of time to not drive you insane. Judd, not the Wonder Trade. That's exactly right. The Wonder Trade. Golly, I've traded hundreds of Pokemon in the Wonder Trade, just sending them into the wind to receive whatever. And after probably a few months. Oh, this is so cool. Let's set it at a year. 40-second timer. I got it on my phone. I won't be able to project this. I have too many things on the screen right now. I'm gonna set a timer for 40 seconds. And let's see what this game wants me to do. So this is metaphorically the time between getting traded and waiting for my new owner. Trainer, collector, whatever you want to call it. Set the timer as indicated, close your eyes and imagine being locked in your ball. When the timer is finished, open your eyes. You are with a new trainer in the next act. Okay, let's do it. Now I guess you guys can't see me, but I'm going to close my eyes when I do this. And my phone will ring and or vibrate when the time is over. So we'll get there. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I set it to 40 minutes. I'm sorry. Whoops. I would have been here for a really long time. And the stream would have been over. Let's do 40 seconds. It's really funny. Hold on. Whoops. I saw 39:59 and I'm like, something feels wrong. Here we go. Go. It starts with a clatter as you join the pool of captured Wildkin in this massive transparent bowl, swirling like a soft whirlpool to scramble us and mix us up to make sure that whoever receives us is truly random. Every now and then I catch a glimpse of another Wildkin sitting within their container, waiting. Some of us handle it better than others. That was 40 seconds? Oh my gosh, that was quick. That was so quick. Let me just finish that thought. Back in character. I, as comfortably as I can in this liminal space, lay on my back. I'm not upset. I don't feel guilty. When all is said and done, I don't miss my old trainer. He did this after all. But I still want to prove myself. I still realize, or now I realize, while we play this long waiting game, that my time with that trainer was wasted. It wasn't gainful. I didn't grow. Above all else, I'll miss the people, I'll miss the other Wildkin that I waited with. And I do hope that they all find a better trainer than that first one. One that will do something with them. Do life with them. Instead of keeping them around as a trophy. To show in front of others. And that's Act 1. That is Act 1. So when we go to Act 2, we would kind of repeat back. We would be bouncing to a new region. So again, we have these 3 regions. We just did the grass one. There's this desert one, and then there's a sky mountain one, right? Oh, okay. So we missed a step. So let's finish up Act 1, and that could be it for the stream, honestly. But when you do Act 5, and when you do Step 5, enter change question, then change. We forgot to do change. So change something about your Wildkin. Consider adding an ability or weakness, updating your sketch, or modifying a previous answer. You can change multiple things at once. Okay, so if we recall, Step 5 was, and I'm just going to blow this up. Step 5 was when we battled the luminous version of ourselves and decided to just faint it instead of letting it be captured, right? So there's like a rebellious energy to this. I want to say that there in this change, I want there to be like an emanation. I want there to be like a dangerous energy hanging off of this moth. So let's get some deep reds. I think that's good, right? I'm gonna try to channel the dusty wings, you know, the ability that I use all the time, right? And we're gonna now here's my mistake, right? Now that I know that there's layers in paint, I should have made the background a different layer than the moth, but it's all one layer. I'm just gonna make another layer. And Dusty Wing is just gonna be like a something that, like, yeah, like that, right? It just kind of, it fills the air. It's noxious. It's dangerous. It makes me harder to hit. It's almost like, do you guys know Rage Powder in Pokemon? Rage Powder is a move that like makes you the sworn enemy of the other Pokemon. Like they have to hit you and not your teammate. Like you're pulling aggro basically. So it's kind of like that, except I just become harder to hit. There's no opacity button on this. I wish I could make my brush less dense. That's so fine. I'm asking too much from paint. And let's add some cool like glowy stuff to it. Let's do like that. Right. Make the brush a little smaller. That's the same color. Nope. Too bright. Nope. Sure. That's like mayo colored. let's take the orange. Let's take a red. So it's like streaks here. This is my new updated art. This is me no longer just doing my job. This is me actually trying to win the fight for once. You know? Can you imagine how frustrating it is to be like the Breloom of your trainer's party, where your job is never to like win the fight, but to weaken a Pokemon and then just sit there while your trainer throws Pokeballs? How annoying must that be, right? You're never supposed to hoist the trophy. You're always just there to catch other Pokemon. And I think that's frustrating. And that's what I'm channeling in this Pokemon. So that's the change I want to put in. I think there is a desire for greatness that I would step into Act 2 with this Wildkin, you know? And I really like how the colors came out with this. I think it's really cool. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do Act 2 and 3, because look, we looked at, that's the whole, oh, the drawing's in the way. That's the whole game. That's everything, right? So there is an Act 2. In Act 2, you get picked up by flashy celebrity or evil minion, which is really cool. You get to go to a new region. Say we went to the sand region next, and maybe you would get a second type, which would be really cool, and your Wildkin would change there. And you do more prompts, so more reflections, more change questions. And then Act 3 is your final trainer and kind of the end of your captured Wildkin career, which is its own thing. So really cool, really concise game. I like the energy it allows me to channel, because as someone who plays a fair bit of Pokemon, just as a hobby, you gotta wonder what these Pokemon are thinking, just kind of watching you literally catch them all. Obviously there's some I have that are my favorites over others, and as someone who really likes playing Nuzlocke is when you have a very limited pool of Pokemon you can play as, and you're not allowed to let them faint. You can really get attached to very specific ones. It's a Nuzlocke is a self-imposed game mode that forces you to really value the Pokemon that you have and not catch too many. But this is nice. I like this game. For people literally tuning in at the very end of the stream, this game is called Wildkin. And Wildkin, you play as the actual creature, a wild. I keep saying Pokemon, but that's for real. A wild creature that is captured and has to live their career according to how the trainers use them and treat them. Who is your favorite Pokemon, Wintry? Favorite Pokemon is Gengar. Always has been Gengar. Second runner-up is Dragonair. Third runner-up, I believe, is Glaceon. Yeah, those are the ones that I have plushies of in my room. So those are my three favorites. I like a lot more. I like plenty of them. There are so many really cool ones. Big fan of Quagsire. Big fan of Alolan Marowak. If that's a little bit of a deep cut. I like spooky guys and I like goofy guys, and that's just my favorites. And generally blue things. Bluish purple things. Anyway, that's the game. If you want to find Wildkin, if you want to play as a Pokemon or Wildkin yourself, if you want to lean into the kind of stories you play in your video games, you can find this game in the description below. The link is in the description below, but you can find it at deep-dark-games.itch.io/Wildkin, or just type in Wildkin into the search bar, and let me just show you. Type in Wildkin. There, it's the first one right there. Deep Dark Games are the people who created this, so absolutely support them and check them out. And with that said, we reached the end of this stream. This was game 88 of 99. Our next game is going to be in 2 weeks because, as I said before at the top of the stream, I'm traveling next week. I will be in Norway for a week and a half, so it's super exciting, and I'll be right back to cover, I believe it's Dawn the RPG next 2 weeks from now. I believe that's September 9. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks with game 89 of 99. Oh, we're so close to the final stretch. We're so close to the 9 numbers of this 3-year marathon. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, so many familiar faces make this really, really fun. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful 2 weeks. Stay frosty.